everybody, welcome back. My name is Samantha Stoddard from Salvaged by Sammy, and today we are going to be going step by step on how to use the HomeRite Super Finish Max paint sprayer. This paint sprayer is an all-encompassing, all-in-one paint sprayer. You can use it for decks, siding, fences, furniture. You can kind of use it for everything, and it's good for latex paint, oil-based paint, water-based paint, stains. So it covers all of your project needs. This paint sprayer is gonna have the most fine-tuned adjustable settings out of all the sprayers. This is the one that I like to use on furniture and that I use for all of my projects, but the other two sprayers are great and are also just as beginner friendly. To jump right in, when you first get your paint sprayer, it is gonna come with a couple different things. So you're gonna pull it out of the box and it's gonna look like this. Also, going to come with a user manual. So this manual goes through all of the steps, all of the details of your paint sprayer, but HomeRite on their social media is also incredible about answering any questions you guys may have. I'm always available to answer any spraying questions as well. It comes with another nozzle, a cleaning brush to help clean out your paint sprayer, and a lid. Next, we're gonna go over the different pieces of the paint sprayer. So we have the container and the lid. And then as you can see under here, we have the nozzle. So to take that off when you're cleaning or prepping it, you can just kind of wiggle it off. It pops right off. And then inside of there is gonna be a gasket, which helps just keep the seal of the paint. Next, we have the actual nozzle portions. So if you take this outside piece and unscrew it, it usually comes off in 2 or 3 pieces. You have the outer ring, the top nozzle, and then you have the inner insert. The other accessories that are gonna come in your box is this little bag. It comes with a wrench and other nozzle tips. The green nozzle is meant for paint. The red nozzle is meant for thicker primers, and the blue nozzle is meant for top coats. Inside this bag is a little wrench. Whenever you need to take off this nozzle and switch it out, you just hook it onto there, and then you can unscrew the nozzle. This is also how I clean the nozzle as well. To take off the tip, hook it into one of these small sections. You'll see it fits right on there. And then untwist that as well. And you can clean that nozzle or switch it out to a different color. So let's say you just got your paint sprayer broken down after cleaning it. To put it back together, you're gonna screw your nozzle back in, grab the internal nozzle insert, and that will just seat right in there. And then you can grab this one, set it right on top, and then the outer ring, screw it on and secure it. When you're adding this portion back on, there's no threads, but if you just kind of wiggle it in there, then it will stay. If you're painting up, you want to turn it around this way. That way when the paint falls to the back of the can, it's still sucking up the paint. Now if you're painting down, like on a piece of furniture, turn it forwards so that when you're painting down, the paint falls to the bottom of the can and it still sucks it up that way. Next, we're gonna go over some of the adjustments of the HomeRite. So a question that I get asked all the time is, how do I prevent my piece from getting orange peel? Which is basically when too much paint gets on the piece and it creates kind of a bubbly, ribbed effect. So to do that, you can see this dial over here. Turning it down is going to decrease the flow that comes out of your paint sprayer. Turning it up is gonna increase the flow. When you turn it up, it also is gonna make the fan of the sprayer wider. Turning it down is gonna close in the fan. Next, we have on the front, the nozzle where you can turn it horizontally or vertically. This is gonna be a little confusing. So if you want your fan to spray out horizontally, you want this to be vertical. And opposite, you want this to be horizontal if you're trying to spray vertical. Something that is not included in your paint sprayer, but I have all of my favorite accessories listed below in the description, are paint strainers or filters. Sometimes when paint sits in a container for too long, it gets clogged or it just builds up a little bit. So you don't want that to get into your paint sprayer, because if it does, it'll either go through your paint sprayer and spray out onto your piece, or it will clog your paint sprayer. You'll have to stop your whole process, clean it out. So it's easier to just use a filter to begin with. I have found it easiest to take my little container of paint, put a little bit of water. I usually use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water for water-based paints. Mix that up in the jar and then sit this inside of here when I'm ready to spray, and then pour my paint into the filter into the container before I screw it on. To move on to spraying, I'm going to show you how if I roll the dial all the way down, I can pull the trigger back and it basically barely moves. Now, if I go to spray, nothing is really going to come out at all, so I'm going to dial it all the way up. The trigger will move a lot more, and you can just see how much paint comes out. So because the nozzle is horizontal, the fan is going to fan out vertical. So as you can see, I'm trying to go horizontal, but I don't have the dial rolled up enough. So I increase the flow, try again, and you can see it come out a lot better. If I were to keep this spray pattern vertical and then try to paint vertical, you can see that the paint is just going to glob up and possibly drip. When I was first learning to spray, it was really confusing on which way to put the nozzle, so something that helped me was to remember whichever way the nozzle is, how this is horizontal, you're going to spray horizontally. So if the nozzle is horizontal, you're going to spray side to side, and if it's vertical, then you're going to spray top to bottom. And you can see right before this, I did a little test run on the tarp down below. I always like to do that just to make sure I'm not going to mess up my piece as soon as I start spraying, and somehow the adjustments got messed up. When you're spraying, you want to keep the sprayer about 8 to 10 inches away, and you can see how I'm not moving my wrist, but I'm moving my entire arm side to side, and I make sure to go over the edges a little bit just to make sure it's a smooth and even finish. We're now going to paint top to bottom, so we want our nozzle to be vertical. Now, as you can see here, I tried to paint top to bottom, but because I'm staining the top of this piece, I had it taped off, and the tape just wasn't willing to stick. So my favorite thing about this sprayer is it's so easy to adjust in the moment. So I went ahead, turned the nozzle, and now we're going to go side to side on the piece. And it's okay if you switch directions. I usually like to do my first coat of paint, either horizontal or vertical, and then my second coat, I will do the opposite. That way, on pieces like this that have a ton of detail, I'm making sure to hit every angle so I don't miss any spots getting paint in them. So I'm going to show you in a second how this piece I actually did get a little bit of orange peel. I do think I didn't water it down enough, so I'm just going to lightly sand it smooth and then do a second coat, and it will be perfect. For cleaning, I like to bring in the empty paint container, the brush that comes with your kit, the wrench, and then also your sprayer. To start, you can unscrew the bottom container and dump any leftover paint back into the original paint container. That way it's ready to go for your next project and it keeps it from drying out. After that, I removed the nozzle that actually goes in the paint container. And again, this doesn't have threads, so it just kind of wiggles off. And then unscrew the caps, take all 3 pieces out and just rinse them off. Then I fill up a little bowl of Dawn dish soap and just some warm water to let the parts soak in. I like to kind of only use water-based paints in my paint sprayer just because it's so much easier to clean. But if you use oil-based, soaking them in Dawn dish soap is going to help a ton. After I remove the nozzle, I'm going to go ahead and spray the actual sprayer with water. Now you need to be careful because the top portion of the sprayer is the hub where the motor is. So you want to be careful to kind of keep it always angled down and just not let any extra water get in there. I then take the brush and just kind of go around the seal portion and make sure that all of the paint is out. Then I go up to the nozzle, scrub that out, and then let it sit to drip dry. Lastly, I empty the paint container. This isn't ideal to do in your kitchen sink, obviously, but we don't have a utilities sink. And then I rinse out all of the accessories. So I have seen people just fill their container with some water and then spray that out. But this way just ensures I get all of the paint out. It really doesn't take that long, maybe 10-15 minutes. And it ensures that my paint sprayer is going to last for years to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now you're probably wondering how you can get a free paint sprayer. So HomeRite and I are both gifting one free Super Finish Max. The giveaway is going to run from today, July 21st, 2023 through Sunday, July 23rd at 5 p.m. And I will announce the winner on my Instagram stories. To enter the giveaway, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Comment below what you would use the paint sprayer for, and then head over to Instagram. I'll link them in the descriptions to my profile and HomeRite's profile, and make sure you're following both of us. This giveaway is only open to people in the US, and you must be at least 18 years old to enter. I really hope I covered all of your guys' questions when it comes to paint spraying, but if I didn't, go ahead and drop them in the comments and I will get around to answering them. Thank you guys again for being here. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you next week for another video.